Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is, well, what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Vergil and had the system? Part 2. Now, yes, I have to do what if Naruto was, well, free and ancient being, part 2, but that'll be later after this one. The reason why I didn't upload yesterday, well, I did upload it like yesterday, but that was like the night or something. The reason why I didn't upload is because I was too tired, too lazy, and when I was kind of rewatching what's called What If Naruto, well, Free and Ancient being, I actually wanted to learn a little bit more about the, what's it called, Norton, whatever. I wanted to learn more about the history, so of course I decided to read about it today, and yes, I know what to do next. But other than that, yeah. Go subscribe to Anime Sensei, Iconic What Ifs, and Obito What Ifs. Their link will be in the description. Also, go check out Anime Sensei's new video that's actually coming out probably today. I don't remember. I just remember that a video was actually being, I think, come out. Don't know when. But yeah. Other than that, what else do I say? I forgot. Oh, never mind. Also, no recaps because I'm too fucking lazy. Yeah, not doing recaps. Really just want to go into the video and not take a couple more hours to just, not hours, seconds or minutes to just do a recap. So yeah, let's begin. So the last time we left it off, Naruto's about to go into the E-Rank dungeon with his dagger. Now, I should mention, well, I did mention how the dagger looked like. It's a short, well, blade, of course, is a dagger. The blade is in the, what's called, other direction. Well, not other direction. Isn't that one direction? It's kind of curved. It's sharp in every edge because it's a blade. And, of course, it has a black handle. So, let me... So, this is what the dagger looks like. So, yeah. But it doesn't have that skull thing. It's just, yeah. So, of course, the dagger is actually considered a common weapon. When he did use Analyze, the dagger was like shown. Naruto did use Analyze, and his Analyze is level 3. His Hanjutsu is level 1. And he is level 7. For right now, he's level 7. For a D-rank mission, is actually considered for him to requirement is level 10. But he's level 7 right now, so he's doing an E-rank dungeon that's actually recommended to do it at level 5. So yeah. So of course Naruto did use Analyze onto the dagger to see what type of dagger this was. He knew it was a dagger, but he didn't know anything else. Dagger. Description. Well, not description. Attack damage. This does about 3 attack damage. 3 plus attack damage. It is also very quick, so it's like 7, I'm gonna say like 1 point, wait, no. What? Wait, 1 point, no, 1 point. 5.5 seconds to attack. So, no, seconds, no. It's 2.5 seconds. So, of course, it's very fast. Speed and attacking. Of course, this is where it says, this dagger is crafted by the finest person, a master of crafting. This is also pretty good. Its durability is really good. Its sharpness is pretty good. It can probably be even upgrade more in the near future if you decide to do it or not. Would you like to equip this item? It's in his inventory right now, so yeah. So, of course, this is where Naruto equipped the, what's it called, dagger, by just grabbing it out of his inventory. And, of course, Naruto has it in his right hand. He gets ready for the E-Rank dungeon. He did also forget to buy clothes, but he doesn't care. So, he's wearing basically his orange Soma jumpsuit still. He goes into the dungeon, and, well, he gets a key. He goes to a specific place because that's what the dungeon wants to go. He puts a key in it, unlocks it, then goes inside. I don't know why I say going or whatever. It goes inside. That's where Naruto gets ready. He's right now on high alert. Now, of course, we're going to Kurama. Yeah, he's basically asleep. He doesn't even know what the hell is happening with Naruto. But we go into Naruto now. Naruto, he goes into a dungeon and he's looking around. He keeps walking around until he sees something shiny on the ground, like a crystal. Now, I should mention how this dungeon looks like. This dungeon has a bunch of it looks like an old Roman rune, Roman kind of Roman age. Okay, it's kind of look like a Roman age, but of course it looks like it's in somewhat of a cave. But at the same time, there's what's called those pillars that they look like they're made out of marble. There's some that are actually destroyed, but yeah. This is where Naruto, well, it's outside instead of being inside the cave. It doesn't make sense if it's inside, unless it's a bunker, but other than that, it's outside. So Naruto's walking around, and he's actually amazed that everything changed. This is where the system decides to give him a warning. Warning, you are now enter the Roman Empire, well, the ruined empire of the Roman age. This is where Naruto is looking around and says, the Roman what? This is where Naruto had not high alert, but he always had these goddamn sixth senses to always dodge things, or try to, but he had never had that much speed. With his what's it called new set of stats and all them other things, Naruto's a little bit his stats for speed was at 200, 200 I mentioned. His durability was at 500 at least, and well, his strength right now is at 97. So yeah, he kind of got stronger from the boost of him just training, and also the boost of him just kind of putting his points into strength. So yeah. So of course, this is where Naruto, he dodges something really fast that came almost hitting him right in the head. This is where Naruto looked behind him, and what he saw was not a human in particularly. This looked like a skeleton with armor. Well, not armor. A skeleton with no armor, but with a bow. It kind of looked like a Minecraft skeleton, but it wasn't blocky, okay? So if that's what you're thinking. This is where Naruto then uses Analyze. He then read upon the skeleton, but had to dodge some arrows. This is where he reads, this is a Roman skeleton, has died a long time ago. Well, not Roman skeleton. He says, this is a skeleton soldier, archer. This skeleton seems to have, well, not skeleton. This Roman soldier seems to have no armor during the great era of falling, the great fall. It seems that it's right now revived back into protecting its home. This is where Naruto says, damage. It does 4 damage if it hits you with the arrow, 4 to 6 damage. And of course, health it is at 20 health. Naruto, he saw that, well, his dagger does 3 damage. And of course, he's already 90, 97. I'm gonna say 55 instead. So yeah, he's already quick as fuck. It's just his strength is lacking a lot. So of course, that's why Naruto then rushes at the skeleton with blinding speed, because his speed is incredible. It got boosted up when he was doing the training, but it was already at such a good point. For some reason, Naruto always was pretty fast, but for some reason, he could never get away from the ninjas because he wasn't as fast as the ninjas. How is he so fast even though he didn't train? Well, Vergil. Vergil is someone so fast. He actually is mostly based on speed. He's incredibly fast. And yes, Naruto being the reincarnation of Vergil, he still kind of got some, a little bit of Vergil's powers. Not the full powers. Let me mention how he will get that later. But this is mostly the system. I'm not trying to go off. Okay, let me say something before I go on to this what if. I'm not trying to go off on solo leveling's kind of system ability. This is just going to be my own. And if you want to know if he's gonna get the Shadow Monarch or some other Monarch, or maybe not or not, well, that'll be something I'm still deciding. I will give you an option when I get to that part. When I get to that part, you can definitely choose which one you want an Naruto to be. But other than that, it's not going off fully off of solo leveling. It's gonna go off like similar to an RPG game or similar to solo leveling. So yeah, just putting that out there. I know someone's gonna definitely comment saying this is not solo leveling. This is just some random system, because I'm not going off of solo leveling. Don't piss me off enough. I'm already having enough stress. But other than that, let me go back into a what if, and yeah. So we go into Naruto. Naruto, he rushes at the skeleton with blinding speed, pulling out his dagger. And I did mention that the dagger did 3 damage. No, I'm changing that into 10 damage. 10 plus damage, okay? Of course, this is where Naruto... Wait. Well, Naruto pulled out his dagger, and of course decided to put his dagger below his like pinky. And of course, this is where he dodges an arrow that was coming towards him. And he was right next to a skeleton, deciding to like stab him in the head. Stab him right in the head, crushing the head with the strength, but also stabbing through it, piercing through it. Is there Naruto? When he pierced through it, he actually got a couple things from the skeleton. Skeleton dropped item. Skeleton has now dropped a couple of bones, 2 bones, and some arrows. The bow was too damaged to be picked up. Naruto says, kind of accidentally destroy that. But whatever. This is where Naruto, he then felt another 6th sense and he had to dodge. This is where Naruto, he looks behind him and he sees more archer skeletons. Roman archer skeletons. Kind of walking towards him. Or not walking towards him, mostly staying behind. This is where Naruto says, I guess I'm gonna have to really try harder not to die. There's like about 30 of them, all kind of lining behind some walls and all that. Naruto, he rushes at them with blinding speed. We go into a 30-minute time skip later. Naruto, he got more bones, more arrows, but mostly he got a bow, a perfectly good bow. Now it's kind of a little bit almost dared to be broken, but it was perfectly good. Naruto can definitely craft this bow. It actually did give him an option, because when he attained this bow, it says bow almost damaged, but can be repaired by a great blacksmith, or you can repair it yourself. Well, not you, no. It said it was be repaired by good blacksmith, if you can. You just need this much materials. So it said it needed like a couple more string and like wood to repair it, but yeah. For if you wanted to rebuild it yourself. For a blacksmith, it will be however much, but yeah. Naruto says, interesting. Very interesting. So, Naruto was just like, at least I should probably keep going. This is where Naruto, he walks further into the Roman Empire. He was only in the outskirts, almost the outskirts. This is where Naruto keeps walking in. And of course, this is where 5 skeleton knights appear. Now, this is where Naruto then uses his analyze, because he saw that it was different from the archers. Skeleton knights has appeared. These Roman skeleton knights has now appeared. 5 of them, mostly because they were always in packs usually to kind of help each other during the battle. Teamwork is always to make the dream work. But yes, these skeletons are now geared up with armor. Now this armor looks like it's red and gold, okay? But mostly I'm gonna say that it's not gold. It's kind of like a brass color. So it's like brass mostly. It's like kind of red and brass color, but yeah. Well, not red, like red, black, but okay. It's kind of brass. It's like the metal is made out of brass, but it has the color of red, okay? Of course, this is where Naruto then analyzed more, and it says these skeleton Roman knights are mostly, people that protect the civilians, at the same time asking for the money for them to pay and all that for the king. These knights protect the law and also protect the people, but also protect the king. But these knights are only, well, in the outskirts. More if you go in, you will fight more, what's it called, these skeletons. Get prepared and get stronger. That's what I said. This is where Naruto says, right, these skeletons have armor. So one of them has a chest plate, while not one of them, like, all of them has chest plates. It's just one has a helmet. But this helmet has, like, what's called, these kind of, like, brush on top of it. But yeah, it's like the sign of to be the commander. And of course, Naruto did use analyze after he was kind of fighting them, because he noticed this one being in the back. This is where Naruto kind of analyzed it and says, skeleton, well, what's it called? Skeleton Roman Empire Knight. Mostly commander. This commander commands these skeletons just to fight together. He is right now just looks like the commander, of course. But of course, there's multiple commanders in one empire. So yeah. Naruto, after destroying the, 4 skeletons that didn't have helmets, Naruto rushes at the skeleton, commander, and starts fighting it with his dagger. Now, these skeletons has also a sword, and these swords are actually made out of, with kind of iron. It kind of looks like just an iron sword, okay? Not a long sword or anything, but just an iron sword. Naruto dodges this commander's, attacks with the iron sword and all that. Naruto's dodging, and of course, this is where Naruto decides to kick in the head. Flinging off his helmet, and then Naruto pulling his dagger back and dodging another swing, and then stabbing it right in the eye, ripping its socket out. But not socket, it was already empty. It just Naruto cracked through it in the back of the head. This is where Naruto also decides to let go of the dagger for a second, and then punch it right in the face, breaking it, shattering into a million pieces. Now, I should mention something. Naruto's now level, well, he's level 10. He has become getting experience from every time he kills, one of the mobs. So yeah. Of course, Naruto was getting more experience. Of course, he was also getting more levels, and he was getting more points. That's why Naruto saw that he should put more points into strength, just to catch it up. Of course, he also did put points into, IQ. Now, Naruto's IQ originally, he didn't put any, points into it right now. He was at 120. Now he's at 150, because he put not 150. He's at 145 because he put 5 points in it. And of course, this is where, he also decides to, put most of his points into, not 5. No. He put, 25 points into, being, smart and all that, IQ. And of course, he rests somewhat into strength still. Now, chakra, he was still good because he has 40k right now. Not because of his putting chakra in it, or not chakra points in it. That was just because his natural chakra is at 40. Now, this is where Naruto does not know about this, but he has secretly, unlocked something when he was, somewhat. No. I'm not gonna say that. He then just says, I still have a lot of chakra. I just don't have any offense jutsu to kind of, fight against anything. Whatever. I should keep going. That's where Naruto keeps going. And of course, this is where Naruto just walks around. And of course, he was getting deeper into the kingdom. Now, it's a giant kingdom somewhat. It's like a bigger kind of kingdom. This is where Naruto's looking around. He keeps fighting against the same soldiers, either archers, knights, or even commanders somewhat. He wasn't fighting against anyone extreme. That after he got all the way to the main kind of base of this place, it wasn't actually the kingdom actually. It was kind of like a kind of outskirt base. of, well, like a Roman Empire base. It wasn't mostly like the freaking kingdom, because that is actually gonna be something that I'm actually gonna use in the near future, like the kingdom. That's actually gonna be, well, it's gonna be a spoiler right now. It's gonna be an S rank dungeon. Now, of course, you're gonna hear about it later. But other than that, right now he's only doing an E rank one. This is where Naruto, he keeps walking around. And Naruto, he like looks around after getting to the middle, and he sees no one. He keeps walking around, and of course he just, well, I should mention one thing. He's level 17 right now, after leveling up so much. So yeah, he also got kind of stronger. His like body was kind of getting more, well, not chiseled, because after his strength and all. But he was also kind of like running low on what's it called. He was kind of hungry, but yeah. But of course, he didn't care that much at the same time, because he was getting stronger at the same time. And he wants to get strong enough so he can show that he can protect himself, and especially those that he loves. This is where he got a kind of what's called, oh no, he kind of just thought of what's called Taiuchi and Ayame. And of course, this is where he thought of the old man, but yeah. This is where Naruto says, is there nothing else for me to do in this dungeon? This is where Naruto, he decides to open the, what's called, base. It was like a giant kind of, it didn't have pillars in the base much. It kind of did have some marble pillars, but of course when Naruto opened it, it was just like this kind of stone base. It didn't look like the, what's it called, the true palace of the Roman Empire. No, that didn't look like it. But of course Naruto walks in, and this is where behind him, like, the thing closes. This is where Naruto says, what the? This is where Naruto looks around, and he just unlocks something. Sensory, what's it called? No. He unlocks what's it called? This thing called sensory. This is where Naruto unlocks it after feeling so many presents at the same time. I should also manage to say that, what's it called? Analyzer is actually level 4 after analyzing a couple things, but yeah. He also did find some crystals and some money, like gold, like old Roman coins. Like, he found old Roman coins that were either made out of gold, silver, or even bronze. So of course Naruto has like tons of those, but I'll mention how that will actually change into, well, the money they use over there in Naruto. But I'll mention that later. This is where Naruto, he unlocked something called sensory. Like, he just senses so many presents. This is where Naruto looks around, and of course this is where he just keeps looking around, and he can sense almost a bunch of things around him until he stepped onto something, and this is where something decides to go down, but everywhere around him decides to light up with blue flames, like on top of like the kind of stone pillars that were in the, what's it called, base. This is where Naruto looks all around, and he just sees a bunch of like skeletons. Either they're archers, or some didn't even have any weapons, but some also had armor. This is where Naruto's looking around, and he sees something right in front of him. Like, something that had, well, what's it called? Well, he had, well, the, what's it called, creature kind of looked like a skeleton, but of course its bones were not gray. It was a green type of skeleton. Of course, this is where, well, it was, I wouldn't say it was green. I'm gonna say it was kind of like a silverish color. Like a silver color. Of course, it was like silver. He had also armor all on him. Kind of also having leggings and actually having boots on also. Naruto just saw like some of his bones, like his arm, because he didn't have like what's called armor for his bones, for like mostly his like mostly like his like arm towards what's it called, his shoulder mostly. Yeah, it didn't have armor there, but it had like a chest plate. And of course, his leggings did also not show that much of what's it called, protection, but it was like his armor was also the color of, well, brass, but of course they still had more of a color red coat. Well, not color red coat. It had like a reddish color, like deeper color than that, the normal knights. But it also had a helmet. That this helmet looked like it covered up, well, his eyes a little bit, but it was also not covering up his neck. It didn't cover up his neck, So of course, or his kind of like jawline, or well, not jawline, yeah, his kind of like teeth mostly. So of course Naruto saw it, and of course the being kind of opened his eyes, and what you see, you would think you would see absolutely nothing, but you saw a glow tint of yellow eyes, of like kind of like yellow eyes, and of course it illuminate well, it kind of illuminated in the kind of dark, kind of just went as a line outside the when he opened his eyes. This is where Naruto says, "What the hell is that?" He then went really quick and says, "Analyze." This is where he analyzed the creature. This is where it says analyzing. It seems this was called Skeleton Roman Empire Knight. This Skeleton Roman Empire Knight, it is a second lieutenant in the commanding of the Roman Empire. Or not a second in command. No. It's a an elite skeleton soldier. This is where Naruto says, "What the? An elite? What the hell is this bullshit?" This is where it then says, description. His health, it has 4,000. No, not 4,000. 600. Naruto widens his eyes. Level, the skeleton is the level what's called 20. And of course, well, damage. Also, I should mention one thing. It does have a shield, and it does have a sword. This sword is a long sword. And I should also mention the skeleton is, well, the skeleton, it says that skeleton height, kind of, I'm going to say 7 feet. Skeleton height, 7 feet. Or not, no, not 7, 6 feet. 6 feet. It's also mentioned that the skeleton elite knight is actually someone to command like this kind of what's it called, kind of base. This skeleton knight has a shield and a long iron sword. The shield is made with wood and kind of steel, and of course this is where it does say what to call damage. It does 40 to 50 damage. Naruto widened his eyes because his health was only at 100. Well, not 100. I'm gonna say 150 health. That's how much he had. This is where Naruto widened his eyes. And no, he did not have armor, so he couldn't even take hits. Of course, Naruto widened his eyes. He could easily die. He's scared. He's kind of trembling. He forgot to put any, what's it called, points into health. He still has enough points. He has about 50 points, but he's scared. He thinks that won't be enough. So Naruto, he gets ready. This is where it also says in the description. Description: an elite knight. These knights are, well, what's it called? Not elite knight. No. I already said everything. This is where Naruto gets ready. And this is where Naruto looks around, and he looks that all skeletons are actually going towards him. The elite knight skeleton was just standing there, not even moving a muscle. So Naruto decides to rush at one of those skeletons and stab right in the head, killing it, destroying his head. When destroying the head, Naruto noticed that the skeleton elite knight, or elite skeleton Roman Empire knight, did not move. This is where Naruto noticed that he then thinks about it really fast. He then snaps his fingers and says, "I got it. So if I destroy all the smaller ones, I might have to fight against that one." This is going to be such a drag. This is where Naruto kind of rushes at what's it called, the skeletons, and starts stabbing them all. Now, of course, he's crushing through them, kind of kneeing them in the face, kind of using karate, kind of like, not karate kick, no, a kind of roundhouse house kick to kind of kick 3 skulls down, kind of just smashing through 3 of them, and then kind of rushing at them using his dagger, kind of stabbing through them. And this is where Naruto also did take one of the swords from what's called the skeletons, and then kind of use it as what's called a weapon to try to block some of the knights and all that. Because this dagger will not handle a kind of, well, it will handle it, but Naruto is still kind of being smart. He's thinking smart. He's using the swords because this dagger did cost him not that much, he would have thought, but he doesn't want to break it. He doesn't want to think well, kind of ask that man if he can repair. Maybe that man was just gonna like charge him, knowing that maybe the man knew that he was a demon and all that, and he's gonna try to charge him anyway. Just be nice for a second, then be charging him, and yeah. So Naruto isn't gonna try about that. He's not gonna try to figure out if the man was nice or not. But he's thinking in the middle of battle, which that is actually something very rare for some people. You see here, some people really cannot think in the middle of a battle. But of course, for Naruto, he's actually able to think in the middle of a battle. He's right now, his mind, he is smart. He does have an IQ of 145. But of course, he still can't think as fast as some people. Like, let me say Toto. Toto from Jujutsu Kaisen. He has an IQ of, was it 300 or was it something higher? I don't remember. But of course, he has such a high IQ that he only needs to take 2.5 seconds to dodge, or not dodge an attack, not use curse energy. So yeah, he was just that smart. And that's because he just had an inner thinking, whatever. But other than that, Naruto just right now fighting against these skeleton creatures. Using, well, what's it called? One of these skeleton creatures' own swords to kind of attack the other ones. And of course, this is where Naruto decides to put his dagger away and grab another one and start using dual will. That's where Naruto unlocked something. So Naruto did kind of saw his unlocked. He unlocked first Sensory and saw that Sensory. When leveling up this type of Sensory, you will now have a further range. Your range is right now kind of, I'm gonna say 10 feet. Now, of course, this was level 1. Well, not 10 feet. Wait, me. Now, the reason why it's 10 feet and not like what's called 5 feet or anything like that, is because of the Nine-Tails power. It kind of did ooze out a little bit when he was being sealed, but not that much. Now, of course, when Naruto, he's actually what's called destroying a bunch of the skeletons and all that. He also does take one of the skeleton's helmet and does put it on. Now, he does notice that the skeleton helmet was what's called durability. Only at what's it called? This helmet can take at least 5 more hits before being destroyed. So yeah, Naruto realized that these helmets are gonna be kind of fucking useless. So of course, when Naruto, his swords are also almost halfly broken, but of course Naruto still used them to kind of slice through what's it called skeletons and kill them. He was also destroying weaker skeletons, but yeah. That's where Naruto, after destroying all like 30 skeletons, I should also mention, I forgot his other ability. Other ability, unlock dual wielding. This is where Naruto could not read when it was kind of what's called fighting and all that. So of course, I'll mention how he kind of gets to it. After destroying all 30 skeletons with his 2 swords that's almost broken, he also was thinking of getting more, but yeah. This is where, well, the Silver Skeleton Knight didn't fight against him, the elite one. Didn't decide to move forward and then fight. So where Naruto says, interesting, is it not gonna fight me? That's where Naruto kind of goes, well, takes his chance to kind of take a sword and see that what's called a skeleton elite doesn't actually fight him yet. That's where Naruto does it, takes some armor a little bit and all that, and kind of loot up a little bit and gets ready. Now, of course, he did have 150 health. Now he only had 120 health. He did take some small damage. So Naruto says, I gotta be careful with this. This skeleton can definitely 2-shot me. Or even more. Or not 2-shot me, 3-shot me. Because yeah, I can do 40 to 50 damage. So Naruto says, which is bad. I gotta get ready. That's where Naruto, he does look at what's it called, his new ability first. And it says dual wield ability. This ability allows you to dual wield any type of weapon. It can be either bow, a sword, a shield, a sword, 2 shields, 2 bows, which is kind of unnecessary to kind of wield 2 bows at the same time, or hold 2 bows at the same time. And it's just like you can hold 2 swords, and yeah. This ability is level 1, and what's it called? Not level 1, max level. It just says max level. There's no, what's it called, saying that you can hold any more or anything. You can just hold 2 items at once. This is where Naruto says, and I guess I have to try harder. This is where Naruto's level also did kind of increase. So he was level 17 and did have 140. Well, was going to have 144. Now he has about 205. Because he did level up about, well, 4 levels. He's now level, what's it called, 21. So yes, he is now level 21. And of course, he gets ready. His entire health, well, what's it called? It did get healed too. Yeah, every time he level up, he kind of does get health back. So yeah, it'd be fine. But of course, his chakra, what's it called, coils, didn't actually level up anything. So of course he just thought, I'll have to just level up them later. This is where Naruto then gets ready to fight against the Skeleton Knight. He pulls out his 2 swords and gets ready. This is where the Skeleton Knight, he still has his eyes open and still kind of just glowing in the dark. This is where Naruto rushes at the Skeleton Knight, hits the Skeleton Knight with an attack. This is where after hitting it, the skeleton decides to get aggressive and fight against Naruto. This is where Naruto, he saw the speed, but of course could react to it when every time he was fighting against it. I should also mention that you do, when you level up, you do get points, but also your stats also do level up. So, he now is, well, his damage does 111 damage, and of course, where Naruto also, his speed is kind of at like 220, and of course, other things got leveled up, so yeah. So of course, Naruto also did put what's called abilities into IQ, but yeah. And his durability was still good enough, it was at 500, so yeah. So of course, Naruto, he could actually tank, he realized that he can tank 1 hit from the skeleton, because he still has, well, he realized that his arms are a little too strong. Well, not a little too strong. His, skin was a little too strong to be normal. That is because of a lot of things, but he doesn't know about that yet. Now, of course, this is where Naruto kind of keeps rushing at the skeleton with his 2 blades in hand, and these 2 blades are kind of made out of, well, steel, while the Skeleton Knight is actually, the Elite Knight is made out of, well, pure iron. This is where Naruto blocks an attack, and then uses his other sword to kind of swing at it. And of course, this is where the Skeleton Elite Knight blocks it with the shield. Of course, it goes on for a couple of seconds, but Naruto's speed managed to get over the, Skeleton Knight, and does a back flip and uses his 2 swords to slash at the skeleton back. Realize that Naruto hits the back, it was kind of the spine a little bit that kind of showed, but when it hit the armor, it didn't do jack shit. So of course, with that happening, Naruto had to, keep fighting against the Skeleton Knight. And of course, this is where Naruto just keeps slashing at it. And of course, this is where Naruto realized that hitting it in the bone part would do more damage than hitting in the armor part. So of course, Naruto keeps having to dodge. He had to duck and slide underneath some attacks, like sword blade attacks. And of course, Naruto just like, damn, those things were close. This is where Naruto decides to block with one of his swords from the sword strike that was going down upon him. Naruto decided to block it with one of his sword strikes. And of course, this is where the skeleton managed to shatter through that sword. This is where Naruto didn't realize about the durability. Well, it was at good, it was almost there to almost break, but still holding on tight. But of course, even with that, the sword was it was kind of a great big sword that the Skeleton Knight kind of had. But of course, it was one of those it was kind of a big sword a little bit, but yeah. Of course, where Naruto realized that the blade just shattered. This is where Naruto had to pull out another blade and blocked it. Realized that blade almost shattered. It was at the tiny bit of durability to almost shattering. This is where Naruto throws that blade away. Of course, it shattered in the impact of falling down on the ground. This is where Naruto pulls out another one from its inventory. He has about, seven of them in his inventory. Problem is, he now lost 2 of them, so he still has 7. He had 9 in total, but Now he's at 7. This is where Naruto starts fighting against the Skeleton Knight again, trying to really just attack it, trying to hit him mostly in the bone part. Every time he hits in the bone part, it does go down its health. And of course, the swords actually do about, like, not much as like its dagger would do. So it actually do like 7 to almost 11 damage. But there was like a chance to hit by 11 damage. So of course, Naruto, he's still trying to attack the skeleton and realize that he is not doing that much with the swords. But of course, he still has to dodge and duck and all that. And of course, this is where Naruto decides to go through hand signs real fast, Hanjutsu, and becomes a skeleton. That's where the skeleton was confused, and well, not kind of run at it. He kind of hide behind one of the pillars and hiding to become a skeleton. This is where the skeleton looks around and just sees Naruto, but it's the skeleton. This is where Skeleton Knights go follow something else. This is where Naruto realized that which using its Hanjutsu would be able to kind of let the skeleton look somewhere else, thinking that Naruto is just a survival skeleton and the other real Naruto, the human one, would be somewhere else. This is where Naruto transforms out of the Hanjutsu and uses 2 blades to slash at the skeleton's back, kind of hitting him right in the spine again, kind of breaking it a little bit. And this is where Naruto then throws both of his blades at the skeleton. The skeleton blocks it with the shield, but of course both the shield and the swords kind of shatter. This is where the skeleton does get hit. This is where the skeleton rushes at with his big sword and tries to slash at Naruto. Naruto ducks and pulls out his dagger and stabs it right into the eye. He managed to jump up and stab it right into the eye, and then decided to grab it from the neck with both of his arms and decide to pull it apart. Kind of just pulling off the neck, off his like head. Well, kind of not head, his what's it called? Chest. So of course the skeleton body falls down, and this is where Naruto has the head, and of course the Skeleton Knight just dies. This is where Naruto gets leveled up. He levels up about, I said he was level 21. Now he gets to be, a couple of levels, level 31 already. The skeleton was actually pretty tough at the same time for Naruto. Well, not level 31, he's level 27, I'm gonna say. So yeah. So of course with that happening, Naruto, he kind of breathes out slowly. Well, not 27, I'm gonna say, not 27, 25 instead. So he only has 4 up levels. This is where Naruto breathes hard, but also kind of gets tired a little bit. But yeah, that's where Naruto gets something popped up. I should also mention that Naruto did get hit a couple times, and he was kind of low down for health. He had about 30 HP. That's where Naruto breathes in and out. When he hits level 25, something unlocks. Unlocked has been something has now unlocked. A shop has now unlocked. You can buy anything from the shop, description says. Anything that is available to you at your current level. When you level up more, this shop will increase in either size or even valuables. You can also sell items that you won't need to get money. Now the money and currency will be different from your world, but it will also be able to exchange from either the money here to the money there. So yeah. Of course, Naruto then is thank God, but yeah. Any resources that you get from this, different dungeons or world, you'll be able to exchange them all for either money or valuables. Would you like to sell items or exchange? Or not buy something? That's where Naruto then just says, I do have a bunch of these coins. These kind of gold and bronze and even silver coins. Now from the giant, he did get a bunch of golden and silver coins. That's where Naruto then exchanged them for the money of his own. His current money that's at his own village. The Fire Nation. That's where Naruto got about 10, I'm gonna say not 10,000, 30,000 from, well, the silver and what's called the bronze, but he kept the gold. He realized that gold is very valuable, and so he just kept the golden coins, the couple of pieces he has. He has about, now I should mention one thing, these, how should I say? These Roman coins that are kind of made out of gold, they're kind of small. They're kind of like a quarter small. So yeah. I can't remember they were that size, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he has about like 10 pieces of those, and he just doesn't mind just keeping them. This is where Naruto then looks into the shop first before leaving out of it and not selling things. Before he leaves, he saw that he just went to the sell option to sell off a bunch of bones that he got from the skeletons, and also some like swords and all that. He could sell the swords, these steel swords, and there's still some of the helmets that he kind of got. He now has, for the what's called game base, that he has a system. He has about, the swords will sell up for like $30, and the what's called helmets will kind of sell up for 40 if they weren't as damaged as much. But yeah, a total of 40. And of course, this is where Naruto, he has about, for currency there would be, you know, I'm gonna say 1,000 per thing. It's like those things. So that would be 10,000 coins that he has for the system. Well, for the what's called system shop and all that. Now Naruto goes through the shop just to see what there is. There's some items like health potions and other things, and Naruto can buy them. Mr. Naruto says, "Nah, I shouldn't." Mr. Naruto, he goes towards the call, the giant like boss mob and all that, and when it kind of like starts kind of which is dead already, it just turns into blue and just turns into items mostly. So that's how it was going through and all that. The skeleton elite knight does die and drops silver bones. What's it called? Silver bones. His silver chest plate. His sword, his great big sword. Something called a glowing light, like a glowing orb or glowing orb, and that's all. So Naruto's like, whatever. He looks at the great big sword and he saw that it does a lot of damage. Just one problem. He can't even lift it up. When he pulled it out, he couldn't lift it up. So he put it back in the inventory. He tried to wear the armor, but it's too heavy for him. It was too slow. So of course he just decided to stick to speed. He doesn't want to be a target, so of course sticking to speed would be enough. That's where Naruto decides to also go into seeing the silver skeleton bones. He decides to keep them. He keeps them while he sells the great big sword and the silver chest plate. That's where when he sells both of those, the money that he has right now that he sells from what's called some bones and some swords and also some helmets, he had about like 3,000 total from it because some of it was damaged, but yeah. And this is where Naruto sells those two things. The sword kind of sell for 10,000 coins. Well, 10,000 coins that he had in the system. And of course, not 10,000, 15,000. It was a iron great big sword. So of course, it was going to sell for a lot of things. This is where the iron chest plate is sell for it was going to sell for 30, but it was kind of hurt and damaged from Naruto's attacks. There was only a half, so it sell for 15,000 as well. Naruto has now, so the great big sword will be 20,000, while the chest plate will be 15, but yeah. Naruto just saw that his money boosted up. He has about now, what's it called? 38,000. That's where Naruto did get us what's called health potion, and he did get it out, and he now has about 37 not 37. Yeah, he had 38, but now he has 37,000 like 250. He kind of bought what to call a health potion that was gonna heal him fully. So of course he was just gonna have to need that later. But yeah, it's like a health potion that will heal 100%. Yeah, it costs about 750. So yeah, of course this is where Naruto. He realized that he finished the dungeon, so he's leaving. He gets out of the dungeon and he goes back home. Now of course it's still dark, and this is where Naruto just says, "Well, gotta go home." But yeah, Naruto goes back home, goes to sleep, and yeah. But this is where I'm gonna leave it off. Part 2 of What If Naruto was, well, was a reincarnation of Vergil, and, well, also having the system. Now, I might fucked up on some math. Reason is I'm retarded in math, and I suck at it. But other than that, yeah, I might come back and change some things, like rewatch it, and yeah. If I know I fucked up on some things, I'm gonna change. And yeah, in part 3, you will probably get the actual estimate, but yeah. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, and potato. Yeah. Part 3 will be when I actually get the real estimate of how much Naruto actually has. But yeah, because have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed. Doing the system thing is actually gonna take forever, now that I think about it. But yeah, other than that, bye bye. Now, is that all I want to say? Yeah, bye.